I'm in Mauritania. I've waited a long time to say those words. Please press subscribe to follow my adventures around the world and press the bell icon to receive a notification when a new video is released every week. As I mentioned, I'm currently in Mauritania, or to be formal, the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. Mauritania roughly translates as Land of the Moors, and Islamic Republic roughly translates as 2 weeks without beer. Precisely, I'm in the capital city of Nouakchott right now, and it's Independence Day coming up, and there's a new flag for the country and everything. Mauritania is one of the least visited countries in the world and lies below Western Sahara / Morocco and above Senegal in Western Africa. Most of the country is comprised of the Sahara Desert, which means geologically it is a very interesting country, and it's also quite difficult to get around. Mauritania doesn't give up its secrets easily, but it rewards those who put the effort in, which is one reason I hired a driver and a guide to show me around for my first week. The capital city of Nouakchott is one of the largest cities, if not the largest city, in the Sahara. Nouakchott is a big, sprawling, dirty city located both in the Sahara Desert and on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Nouakchott can be an intimidating first impression of the country. It's quite difficult to navigate and traverse, especially if you don't speak French, but the people are incredibly friendly. One cool thing is that they opened a new airport in 2016 and demolished the old one, but the old runway is still in the middle of the city and is used as a public road. And while it's definitely chaotic, by West African standards, Nouakchott is nearly peaceful. Since so few tourists visit the country, salesmen are less persistent than in neighbouring countries. Not to say that they won't hassle you, especially in the central market, but they will generally take no for an answer. And there's enough to do in the city for at least a couple of days, including the camel market, and the fish market on the beach. The fisheries off Mauritania's coast are the richest in the world, and a day at the port city and second largest city of Nouadhibou is worthwhile. Nouadhibou does have an active fishing port, but there are lots of other interesting things around that will appeal to different people. For instance, the national parks outside the city, which I did not get to visit all of, play host to large amounts of migratory birds, including flamingos, and is apparently a birdwatcher's paradise in the right season, which it's not right now. Mauritania is also home to one of the last colonies of monk seals in the world, although only 2 were around when I went to visit them. There's also a ship graveyard, which used to be the largest in the world, though I'm not sure if it still holds that title. Back in times of economic distress, the government turned a blind eye to people and companies dumping their ships off the coast of Nouadhibou. Lately though, a lot of the ships have been sold and cut off for scrap, leaving just a few eerie wrecks along one beach. Leaving the coast though is where things start to get really interesting. Since Mauritania is a Saharan country, the desert is the must-do thing. And Mauritania is actually full of geological oddities and unique sites. I've wanted to visit a rock called Ben Amira for at least the last 5 years, but it's not actually that easy to get to. The traditional way to get there is to hop on an iron ore train from Nouadhibou or Zourat and get off near Ben Amira, which I'm told is incredibly uncomfortable, dusty and unpleasant. Even in my air-conditioned car, the trip to Ben Amira was not exactly comfortable. It took over 8 hours off-road through the rough desert. And occasionally picking up hitchhikers. But when you arrive, it's immediately worth it. Ben Amira is a monolith, one solid piece of rock. In fact, it's the second largest monolith in the world after Uluru, or Ayers Rock, in Australia, and it's just as impressive. Ben Amira is actually what sparked my curiosity with Mauritania in the first place. The fact that something so impressive could exist in near secrecy while Uluru gets deluged in tourists astounds me. And after seeing Ben Amira in person, it actually astounds me even more, since the rock is impressive and the desert surrounding it is beautiful. Ben Amira's little sister, Ben Aisha, is located close by and is surrounded by some rather peculiar rock art. After waiting so long to get here, it would be foolish to just spend a couple of hours, so up went the tents, though I ended up eschewing my tent and slept in the desert overlooking the rock, which meant I woke up with the sun in my eyes. From Benamera, it was time to head down south to the more visited areas of the country. Chinguetti is the 7th holiest city of Islam. It used to be a main meeting point and trading hub on the route to Mecca, and houses some of the most important libraries in the world, containing texts over 1,000 years old. Chinguetti as a city has been moved twice due to the encroaching desert. The original lies abandoned and buried in sand, but the second and still incredibly old city still has some inhabitants, though the third newer city is where most people live today. Not too far from Chinguetti is a site of rock art dating back 6,000 years. The art includes depictions of a giraffe and a cow, animals which are not found anywhere near here anymore, but allude to a time when the surrounding area was savanna and not desert. After spending a lot of time in the desert, I was pretty excited to visit some oases. While the majority of oases are not technically oases but merely a large collection of trees, the Turgid Oasis is a true desert oasis where water flows all year round. It's a lovely spot to just spend a day relaxing. There's even a swimming pool. One thing I haven't talked about yet, but is so ingrained in Mauritanian culture that it would be remiss not to mention it, is the tea ceremony, which was a novel experience the first time I took part, but soon started to wear me down after about the 100th time. It goes on forever. I've not figured out how it works, but it seems to involve boiling water, adding sugar, adding tea, pouring glasses of tea, pouring those glasses back into the teapot, then pouring them back into a glass, then pouring it between glasses, and by this point the tea's gone cold, so the water has to be boiled at least once more. It takes at least 20 minutes, and that's just for one cup. The complete ceremony includes 3 cups and takes over an hour. I think the idea is to stimulate conversation, but since I don't speak French or Arabic, I usually ended up just going for a walk between cups. I do quite like the Mauritanian dining experience though, sitting on the floor or benches sharing from one big bowl. The food usually consists of fish on couscous or rice, which is certainly enjoyable. Seafood in Nouakchott is of particularly high quality, so as you move further inland, beef, camel and goat seem to become more popular. This video is going on for far too long now, and I've only touched on a tiny fraction of my experiences, so I will leave you with just one last one, just outside of Chinguetti. When most people think of the Sahara Desert, they think of those big oceans of sand dune, or seas of sand as they're called. These dunes make up only a tiny proportion of the Sahara, but there is one right outside of Chinguetti, and me and my guides ventured to the top of the tallest dune to indulge in another freaking tea ceremony, but it was worth it to watch the sunset over the dunes and my time in Mauritania. Except that's not actually true. I've still got another week here. I won't be filming most of it, but next week's video will also be about Mauritania, in particular the security and safety situation here. So if you're interested in visiting, I recommend staying tuned for that. Thanks for watching this generic travel vlog. I will see you next time. Happy travels!